What the fuck are you ranting about today?
Who? This guy?
No, the other fat, old, red-headed guy.
Not nice. I'm not here to rant about anything. I'm just your local PBIS rep for your local school district.
What is that? And why do I care?
All right, look. PBIS stands for Positive Behavioral Interventions and Support.
That sounds political and super gay.
Quiet, you bigot. Here at PBIS, we exist to remind white children how truly privileged they are. Also, we serve the black and brown communities by letting them know how oppressed they are. Now, here's some quick examples of the logic that drives our company's core values.
So I've had a few of these situations where it's just first trying to approach that new concept of privilege and white fragility. Then there is the backlash that you sometimes get once you've started that conversation, and once you've opened that box, you can get back some real pushback and defensiveness. So I try to say, I'll frame it. It's kind of like Jedi mind tricks that kind of we have to do on the kids too. So I'll try to frame it like, you may not struggle with this. This may not happen in your building, but there's this thing that's called privilege, and some people respond very defensively, and they'll say, that's not me. What are you calling me, a racist? And I love my kids, and I would never do anything. I treat all my kids the same, and I don't see color. And you get all these responses, and sometimes you have to say, okay, we're gonna pause on that. We can always talk about that again next month.
So what is restorative practices? It's based off the restorative justice model. And so in that model, they have you build relationships, and in building those relationships, you hope to work on that connectedness with other people. And then in doing that, you want to repair the harm that may have been done by violence or crime or something like that. That's restorative justice. What it's turned into is restorative practices.
Avoid All Lives Matter. Last year I did a presentation on why Black Lives Matter, and so you can reflect on that if you have questions. And be careful about white savior syndrome and thinking about how do you support students without, how do you support students authentically and genuinely without it being about us, without it being about what I think I'm doing? How do I make sure I'm there for them? And don't single students out, especially when they represent a smaller group of students.
So basically, PBIS acts as an unregistered political PAC for the Democrat Party. Isn't this illegal?
That's misinformation, and you're racist!
Calm down, Michael Moore. You're going to give yourself a heart attack here. So basically, your job is to go into K-12 schools and indoctrinate children with Democrat bumper sticker talking points. You think you have the right to do this because you simply renamed what we used to call political canvassing into behavioral intervention to fool the useful idiots into thinking this was about helping children, when all you're really doing is taking valuable time and resources away from real courses that educate our children by replacing these courses with a partisan political belief system meant to expand the Democrat Party's voters at the expense of our children's education. Case in point. Ever since the founding of the Center of PBIS in 1998, test scores and college readiness have plummeted in the United States. Tell me again how this is about the children and not a partisan political operation?
That's a conspiracy theory. And I'm going to have Snopes and Mark Zuckerberg fact check this for me.
Ooh, I'm sure that'll help.
Rape!